Joining me today is Joaquin Buckley, the man responsible for one of the greatest knockouts in UFC history. He's making a quick turnaround and he takes on Jordan Ryden at UFC 255. Joaquin, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Feeling good today. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. Talk to me about the decision to make such a quick turnaround. Is it the idea of just carrying that momentum on?
Most definitely. Strike while the iron's hot. With this devastating knockout that I just had over Impa. I'm definitely looking to do it again with this next fight coming up against another undefeated fighter in Jordan Wright. And I definitely think I have the capabilities of doing another outstanding knockout for sure.
Well, let's rewind back, obviously, to the phenomenal knockout. I know you and I spent some time on the basketball court. And I remember you
Yeah.
telling me like you felt like your UFC debut, you didn't get to show off what you were about and what you were capable of. And obviously, you come out and score a spectacular knockout. But before that knockout, I feel like in the fight, I could see you really gunning for the finish, like coming out there super aggressive, looking for a statement win. So talk to me just about your mentality going into that fight.
Not even just that fight. That's all in my fights. I'm always looking for the finish. I'm always going hard. You know what I mean? I'm always trying to use them heavy hands. But the thing about the last fight that I had with Kevin Holland, you know what I mean? It was just short notice. I didn't have a good game plan on the way to beat Kevin Holland because I got good grappling too, as well. So, but my whole goal and my mentality is always to finish the fight no matter what. So it wasn't just trying to create a statement with Impa. You know what I mean? Every fight I'm trying to always, be the steal of the show, just steal the show and try to get these bonuses at the end of the night.
And obviously, the finish was incredible. He held your kick at one point before the finish. Did you feel like when he did that the first time around, okay, maybe I can pull this move off?
Yes, ma'am. It wasn't the first kick that he grabbed because I was able to get my foot back pretty fast. But the second time he had grabbed my foot and he had turned my body, and I was just moving with the momentum. I seen the opportunity to do it. It's just my body was too far turned over, so I just completely turned. And I kind of smiled. If you watching the video, I kind of smiled about it because I was like, all right, it's right there if I do it. So when he got into the second round, whatever, and he did it again the third time where he got a nice little grip on my foot, I just turned and I just pulled the trigger and we made it happen.
Did you know that he was like out like that, like after you landed the kick? Because I could see you turn around and obviously he had
Right, right,
well,
right.
yeah.
So I knew I landed pretty good. But it's not like the heavy bag where it just stands there and you can hear the snap or you can just see the dent that you put in the back. His head snapped back, so I really couldn't tell until I was able to turn all the way around and I seen his body stiffen up and fall. And then that's of course that's how we knew the fight was over. No referee needed on that one.
And how obviously you got the bonus, but how would you say life has changed for you since that knockout? Obviously, you got the little man here on your lap, so the
Yeah.
bonus must have been super sweet.
I mean, life's been the same. Right now people starting to recognize me out in the streets. People starting to recognize my lady nowadays as well, with the Ariel Hawani videos and stuff like that. So every time we go out, we kind of get, little people, just to say, hey, you that one guy. So that's pretty cool. But right now, the biggest change in my life is this guy right here. So that's the biggest change right now.
And it's got to be cool. I know you and I talked about this after the fight to be part of a highlight like that, like something that's going to play for all the years ahead, like it's
Most
one of those
stuff.
things that people are just going to keep seeing again and again and again.
Yes, ma'am. I don't know. Like it's still amazing. You know what I mean? Like you said, that knockout's gonna be around as long as the UFC is around. I think the UFC gonna be around for a very long, long time. So they'll still be playing that highlight.
And what was your whole experience like fighting in Abu Dhabi? Like I said, first fight, short notice, then you fly halfway across the world. Uh, what was that whole experience like? Just getting to fight on Fight Island. Obviously, Fight Island is a big deal. They made
Right.
Fight Island even a bigger show than the first time around. So, what was that whole experience like?
It was just great, just taking opportunities, you know what I mean, and just that's the biggest thing that this the UFC has shown me. Like when you take these last minute fights, they willing to put you on to the next card very fast, but you just got to take the opportunity. So I'm glad I took the opportunity with Kevin Holland. I'm glad I took the opportunity to go fly all the way to Abu Dhabi, and I enjoyed my whole experience there. I was by myself for the majority of it, but I ended up running to my guys, Justin and Mike, who we played basketball with out there, and they was able
Yeah.
to fill in for me to be in my corner, which is so nice. Actually, I'm training with these guys, Joaquin Buckley, their team out in Michigan, Lansing, for this fight camp for Jordan Wright. So we should be nice and ready for this fight, because for my last 2 fights that I had no sparring. You know what I mean? So, you know, my fight canceled was a little weird, just hitting the heavy bag and doing little stuff like that, you know, shadow boxing. But now I'm gonna have, you know, guys to work with, teammates to work with, and you know, sparring partners. So this fight should come out pretty good for me.
Why didn't you have like sparring partners for the last one? And how did you end up at Michigan?
That's a long story. That's a long story, you know what I mean? Eventually, you know, I'm gonna talk about it. Right
Okay.
now, you know what I'm saying? We just blessed to be with the UFC. I'm blessed to have the opportunity to speak with you guys. And I'm just glad that, you know, everything is going our way so far. So, you know, we just gonna keep this thing going.
Absolutely. Talk to me about Jordan Ryden. How familiar were you with him? Obviously, he's an undefeated guy, but how familiar were you with him when they offered you the fight?
Not familiar at all. You just gotta do your homework. You know what I mean? You just go on Google, type in their name, typology, just look at who they fought. You see whether you can find, you know, last minute footages. And I seen a good footage where, you know, I think he want to keep secret. So I don't think he's really undefeated, and he knows that. But you know, we're gonna keep that under wraps, and hopefully I'm able to get the finish as well.
And I think I spoke to you about this before as well. You talked about you're not ruling out a return to welterweight, right? I mean, he's coming down from light heavyweight. Are you content kind of just staying at middleweight, or how are you kind of going to assess which fights you take to
I'm
welterweight?
finding a lot of success at 185 right now. All my fights have been finishes thus far, even me being finished, but you know, all my fights have been finishes thus far at 185. But I'm definitely looking towards the fighting at 170. That's my dream weight to get that belt. You know what I mean? And to be a two division champ is the goal. You know, at 170 and 185. You know, once I get the opportunity to fight at 170 again, I definitely take it. It's just all about the opportunity. Once they give it to me, I'm taking it.
Are you finding any differences between obviously other than cutting down to 170, but are you finding any differences? Because obviously, like you said, you're finding success at 185. So what would you say is the major difference between competing at 170 and 185?
I don't stress my body as much. I'm fresher when I walk in there at 185. I get to still eat. You know what I mean? Like I know I look like a bulky guy, but I just walk around 190. You know, so I only walk around 190, and then if I'm eating terribly, I walk around like 195. So either way, it's still not a bad cut for me. So yeah, so it's pretty good for me to fight at 185 because I'm not putting too much strain on my body.
I think I saw like an article or something that said you were working at Walgreens. Like you just like after the fight, do you still work there?
Yeah, I'm still employed. They haven't fired me yet. So I actually got an interview with the corporate. So you know, what I mean, the big bosses want to talk to me about something. So that's cool. You know.
Oh, that's awesome. So is
Right.
this something that you want to continue doing, or do you want to kind of focus full time on fighting? Or
I do want to focus on fighting, of course. You know, but you know, right now it's good to just start getting fights. You know what I mean? So once this slows down, I want to go back to work. You know, I just want to you know, sit back, go back to work, and just concentrate on just making a career for myself with Walgreens. You know what I mean? I can move up certain levels with Walgreens. So that's the cool part.
how do you balance that out? Is it like a night shift or a morning shift, or how's that work out?
Usually a night shift that I work. Um, you know, I don't train you know, too crazy or extensively. I only do like 2 hour, 3 hour training sessions. Thank you, boo. There you go. Appreciate it. All right. I only do like 2-3 hour training sessions, so pretty much my day is pretty much, you know, open. So I'd rather just be working and making money after that. So it's not hard. I usually pick the night shift so I can do stuff in the morning. So I'm always
Cool.
up.
Cool. And if you don't mind me asking, did the bonus go straight into the bank account, or is there anything you wanted to invest in?
Say it again. I'm sorry.
No, all good. I said, did your bonus go straight into your bank account, or was there something that you wanted to invest in or buy or
Well,
something?
it always goes straight to the bank account first, but we're gonna have some different little investments. We've been talking to some people thus far, but you know, we just gonna take our time with it. You know, right now, just make some smart moves and just get educated. That's it.
Absolutely. Talk to me about the matchup itself with Jordan. How do you see this one playing out?
Like I said, another finish. I want to get a first round finish against Jordan Wright, but we're not gonna force it. You know, we just gonna let things flow the way they should. But I'm always looking for the finish, no matter what. Yeah.
Any pressure? Obviously, that was such a spectacular knockout. Do you think about that, or do you put that to the side? Like, any pressure to kind of try to one up that?
No, not at all. A finish is a finish. You know what I mean? So no matter how I get the job done, you know what I mean? A good right hook to his jaw, you know what I mean? That's going to also be a highlight, you know? So it doesn't matter how I knock him out or how I finish him, you know what I mean? As long as I get the finish, we good to go, you know? So that's the only thing about the pressure is just making sure that I finish these fighters, anyone that I come up against, anyone.
And I've recently seen James Krause make some comments. What's that all about? Like, where does that come from? What's the beef with James Krause?
No beef at all, man. Well, from where I'm from in St. Louis, beef is a little different, you know. I don't want to get into that, but you know,
Okay.
it's nothing between us. You know, if we really want to do it, we can make it happen. At 185, at 170, doesn't matter. You know, James Krause and Jason Witt. I seen Jason Witt just got a win on the card. You know what I mean? Congratulations to him. He just got his first sub with the UFC. I think those two guys right there are two easy fights for me to make, you know, back to back. Actually, I would love to. So, but there's no beef. It's just business. It's just business.
I see. I'll ask you one last question. I really appreciate your time. What's the plan here? Are you trying to be as active as possible? I know obviously we're coming into the end of 2020, but is the idea to try to be as active as possible? Is that the route you're going?
Oh yes, man. That's the goal. That's the goal. So right after this fight, with Jordan Wright, you know, if we blessed and we healthy and you know we still intact, you know, I definitely want to take that next one. You know, like I said, you got to strike while the iron's hot and just keep getting these wins in. You know, yes, ma'am.
Awesome
Because you
stuff.
know a lot of people don't realize, I had fought right before, I got with the UFC. I had fought Jackie Gosh, then I've had fought Kevin Holland, then I fought Impa. This will be my fourth fight this year, and then like I said, just want to keep on going until they say ain't nothing left.